But for now, I invite you to open your hearts and your minds and welcome our wonderful guest speaker, Kathy Stringham.
Thank you. Okay, take a breath with me for a minute. Imagine for a moment that you're standing at the edge of a great forest. Behind you is everything you've ever known, your family, your history, the stories you tell about yourself, and the world. It's comfortable. It's familiar, but before you lies the great unknown, the wild, misty hush of possibility that calls to your heart. I want to tell you a story about a piece of my journey. Quite a few years ago, a friend of mine was killed in a terrible car train wreck. And at that time, I found myself saying, what do I really believe? And it was a big step in my next chapter at that time. For several months, I found myself either taking people's heads off or in tears. I didn't know where I stood anymore because I was questioning my entire foundation. I found myself stepping through my beliefs until one day I found there was nothing left. The beliefs that I'd used to create the foundation for my entire life was gone. And it was scary. During that time, I read a great deal and I talked to a lot of people, exploring other ideas that are out there, knowing or believing that there's something else out there, but not knowing where to go. I adopted some of those ideas in my life and had an idea that there was more out there, but I did not find a home. I read and studied some of the ideas I found, but didn't commit to any particular philosophy. I visited with Reverend Donald, who some of you may know, multiple times, and attended services with this group from time to time, but honestly, I didn't let myself believe anything because when I'd believed before, all that trust was gone, and I didn't know where to go with it. What I believed fell apart on me, and I didn't trust what to do next. I felt a curiosity that there was more beyond what I knew. Now, we've all had our journey. For some, this journey is quiet and accepting. Hey, it's not that funny yet. Come on. For others, the journey has caused them to question their beliefs and what life was all about. And those questions bring us to the edge of the unknown. Standing on the edge of certainty, peering into what we don't know. Let me tell you, the edge is sacred territory. Joseph Campbell called it the hero's adventure. The moment when we're called out of our old stories and into something new. But here's the spiritual truth. Every breakthrough that we have, every miracle, every expansion happens at the boundary of the familiar and the unknown. The world we know is shaped not only by what we consciously choose, but by the power of the collective unconscious. Those beliefs, stories, and patterns that live in all of us just below the surface. Carl Jung called it the reservoir of experience, shared by humanity. It's the cultural water we swim in, the invisible, shaping our expectations and our possibilities. So we can keep it small, or looking at it, sometimes those collective stories that we build up in our families, in our schools, the areas we are when growing up. People like me don't do things like that. It's always been that way. Who am I to step forward and shine? Find ourselves playing smaller, maybe, than what we can. These stories handed down over generations can become invisible barriers on the edge of the known. But what if, instead of fearing the unknown space, we saw it as sacred? What if it was actually a portal, not danger, but to healing and collective transformation. Think about it. The greatest shifts in history, movements of civil rights, spiritual awakenings, scientific breakthroughs happened because somebody dared to question the story and the step beyond. Reflect on your own experience. What might be possible if I let myself explore beyond my own story. The single question can create an open pathway for us. What might you notice if that happened? Are there beliefs that aren't really yours? Maybe something you heard over the years. Maybe old fears inherited from family, from society. Maybe you could gently and courageously begin to release them. If that's the case, as you would venture into the unknown, you tap into the collective, all of us together. Every time one of us chooses to break free from fear, we create a ripple effect. It's like throwing a pebble in a pond that sends waves of possibilities out to others. When we're brave, it gives others the courage or the permission sometimes to take their own steps. Similarly, as a community, when we lean in together, acknowledging the shared unconscious and bringing a gentle awareness to our patterns, we begin the work of healing not just for ourselves, but for all. So, how do we do this? How do we remove the fear at the edge of to trust the boundaries? Number one is bringing awareness. Notice the stories that you tell yourself, especially the can'ts and the shoulds. Ask, whose voice is that? Does this story serve my highest good, or is it ready to be retired? Embrace the curiosity over certainty. The spiritual life isn't about having all the answers, because I don't think any of us will ever arrive at that point. It's about loving the questions. When we meet the unfamiliar with curiosity instead of resistance, and the unknown transforms from a monster under the bed to an ally of our growth. Practice collective compassion. As we remember, everyone is carrying invisible stories. The simple act of holding space or saying, "Me too, I felt that," can lift centuries of fear and shame from the collective consciousness. The last one, call on the divine. Whether you call it the universe, spirit, God, it's all the same. However you name it, it's infinitely larger than our known reality. When you reach the edge, pray, "Show me what I cannot yet see. Help me trust what is unfolding." Imagine for a moment a community where we consistently choose wonder over worry, unity over separateness. When we face the edge with open hearts, we don't just expand into our individual lives, we help heal the collective. Remember, each time you say yes to the unknown, you are reclaiming the energy that fear once held and offering a beacon for others who are ready to step forward. What lies beyond the familiar is not emptiness, but spaciousness, sacredness, and collective healing ready to emerge. Let's end together today with a moment of stillness. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. I trust the sacred mystery as we silently affirm together. I open the guidance beyond my own stories. In stepping forward, I help heal all. When you're ready, bring your attention back. May you walk bravely. May you love fiercely. And may the edge of the unknown, of the known world, become the gateway to the healing for you and for us all. And so it is. Thank you very much for your time.